Mark I. The Mark I was the first Iron Man suit Tony Stark ever built, constructed inside a cave in Afghanistan while being held captive by the Ten Rings. It was made from scrap metal, missile parts, and a makeshift arc reactor he built from spare components to keep himself alive. The armor was bulky, gray, and extremely primitive, equipped with flamethrowers, basic rocket launchers, and metal plating thick enough to withstand gunfire. Even though it lacked advanced systems and could barely fly for a short distance, this suit allowed Tony to escape captivity. The Mark I was later recovered by Obadiah Stane, who reverse-engineered it to create his own suit, the Ironmonger. Mark II. Once Tony returned home, he immediately began improving his design. The Mark II was a sleek silver prototype made from a titanium alloy that focused on flight and mobility. This version was the first armor to successfully achieve stable flight, powered by repulsor thrusters, and featured advanced HUD targeting systems and improved servo motors. However, during a high-altitude test flight, Tony discovered a critical flaw. The armor would ice up in the upper atmosphere, causing it to freeze and lose power. Although the Mark II wasn't combat-ready, it served as the blueprint for all future Iron Man suits. Later, it was confiscated by the U.S. military and modified into the War Machine armor. Mark III. After solving the freezing issue with a gold titanium alloy, Tony built the Mark III, the first fully combat-ready Iron Man suit. With its iconic red and gold color scheme, the Mark III featured repulsor beams, shoulder-mounted micro-missiles, and improved flight stabilizers, making it the first suit Tony used for real hero work. He wore this armor to take down the Ten Rings in Gulmira, and later fought Ironmonger in it. Despite sustaining heavy damage during that battle, the Mark III officially introduced Iron Man to the world. Mark IV. The Mark IV was an upgraded and more refined version of the Mark III. It featured smoother armor plating, enhanced flight systems, and better comfort for Tony to wear during public appearances. This is the suit Tony wore when he appeared at the Stark Expo and when Nick Fury approached him about joining the Avengers initiative. Although it didn't have major new weapons, it was more reliable and stylistically polished compared to its predecessor. Mark V. Unlike previous heavy armors, the Mark V was a compact portable suitcase armor designed specifically for emergencies. The entire suit folded into a briefcase that Tony could carry around and quickly deploy when needed. It featured lightweight plating that sacrificed durability for speed of assembly. Tony used this silver and red suit during Iron Man II to fight Whiplash on the racetrack in Monaco. While much weaker than the Mark III and IV, its fast activation system allowed Tony to suit up instantly, making it the first Iron Man armor intended for rapid response combat situations. Mark VI. After discovering a new element to replace the toxic palladium that powered his arc reactor, Tony created the Mark VI. This suit introduced the triangular arc reactor and had improved armor durability, stronger repulsors, and upgraded targeting systems. Tony wore this suit during the battle at the Stark Expo, where he faced Whiplash again, along with an army of hammer drones. The Mark VI was also the armor he used when he officially joined forces with the Avengers to investigate threats beyond Earth. Mark VII. The Mark VII was a major upgrade designed for quick deployment and heavy combat. Unlike the previous suits that required Tony to manually suit up, the Mark VII could attach itself to him mid-air using a specialized bracelet system. It featured stronger armor, improved flight speed, multiple mini-missiles, and advanced laser systems. Tony wore this suit during the Battle of New York in the Avengers to fight the Chitauri army. The Mark VII also included an automatic lock-on system that allowed Tony to take down multiple targets at once. After the battle, Tony kept improving his armors to prepare for larger threats beyond Earth. Mark 42. Jumping to Iron Man 3, Tony developed the Mark 42, his first fully modular suit. Instead of one solid piece of armor, this suit was made of multiple remote-controlled components that could fly to him individually and assemble around his body. The gold-dominant armor was designed for rapid deployment and could be summoned from long distances. However, it was unstable at times and prone to malfunction due to being a prototype. Tony used the Mark 42 to rescue people from Air Force One and later during the battle against Aldrich Killian and the extremist soldiers. This armor introduced the idea that Tony could control suits without physically being inside them. Iron Legion armors, Mark 43 to 50. After nearly losing everything, Tony became obsessed with building more suits to protect the world. This resulted in the Iron Legion, dozens of specialized armors designed for different missions, including stealth, underwater combat, heavy lifting, and disaster rescue. Many of these armors were remotely controlled by Jarvis and were used during the final battle in Iron Man 3 to fight the extremist army. However, Tony later destroyed them all as part of his decision to step back and focus on his personal life, although this retirement didn't last long. Mark 43 and Mark 45. The Mark 43 was the first armor Tony used in Avengers: Age of Ultron, and featured improved combat AI and more balanced armor functions. It was used during the attack on the Hydra base and the creation of Ultron. The Mark 45 improved on this with a sleeker design, new red and gold plating, and smoother edges. It also introduced a new AI called Friday after Jarvis evolved into Vision. Tony used the Mark 45 during the final battle in Sokovia to help the Avengers stop Ultron and evacuate civilians before the city collapsed. Mark 46. Used during Captain America Civil War, the Mark 46 was built with enhanced durability and reinforced plating to endure high-stakes combat. It contained an upgraded targeting system, new repulsor tech, and advanced scanners. Tony wore this armor when he confronted Captain America and Bucky in Siberia, leading to one of the most emotional battles in Marvel history. The suit sustained severe damage during the fight, symbolizing the fracture of the Avengers. Mark L. 50. With the threat of Thanos approaching, Tony developed the Mark 50, a groundbreaking nanotech suit powered directly by his arc reactor. The armor could materialize around him instantly and form weapons like shields, blades, cannons, energy thrusters, and even wing jets for space travel. The Mark 50's nano-healing system allowed it to repair minor damage during battle. Tony wore this suit on Titan to fight Thanos alongside Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, and the Guardians. It was one of his most advanced suits, but even with all its upgrades, it wasn't enough to stop Thanos from obtaining the Time Stone. Mark 85. The Mark 85 was Tony Stark's final armor, used during the events of Avengers Endgame. This suit combined the nanotech abilities of the Mark 50 with the strength and durability of his earlier armors, creating the most balanced and powerful version ever. It featured enhanced repulsors, energy shields, lightning channeling capability, and a reinforced structure strong enough to fight Thanos head-on. Tony used the Mark 85 in the Battle of Earth and, in one final act of heroism, activated the Infinity Stones integrated within the suit. With the words, "I am Iron Man," he snapped his fingers, defeating Thanos and his army, but sacrificing his life in the process. The Mark 85 became the last suit Tony Stark ever used, marking the end of his journey as Iron Man.